how you started playing basketball.
Ever since I was young, I think I started around 3-4 years old. It was just simple, just having a basketball inside the house and a little toy hoop with it. I really got started because of my dad. My dad played in the Philippines as well, and he was the captain of the national team back in '82. So it's been a good history of basketball, and I've been able to learn a lot from him. But seeing through his clippings, seeing through his old pictures, it's always nice to see. That's kind of what inspired me to get into basketball.
How's playing in Cal Fullerton College?
I enjoyed my time at Cal State Fullerton. I only played 1 year, but I got to meet a lot of great people and a lot of good coaches over there. That's where I met some buddies like Dwight Ramos and Kyle Almond Jr. So that's where I first started out, and I got to learn how Division I works. I learned how to properly understand offensive schemes, defensive schemes, and it really opened my eyes to what college basketball was, and it helped me propel my career in moving forward, just to getting that baseline and foundation under me.
How's playing alongside with Kyle Almond Jr.?
Yeah, Kyle or KJ, as I know him. KJ was a great guy to be around, fun guy on and off the court. He kind of had that. When I came in, he was still a sophomore at the time, so we were both young. So when I was there, I was also figuring out the ropes, but he was still getting used to it as well. But when I got to play with him, it was nice to see, because he was always in the gym, always loved working hard, and just was a sponge all the time. So he's always learning, perfecting his craft. Like I won't forget one story he told me, because he's known usually for his mid-range game. When I talked to him about it, I was like, "Was that always your bread and butter?" And he told me, it was like, "No, actually when I got to Fullerton, that's when I developed it, And so it goes to show how much he put in the work and how much Cal State Fullerton worked with him on getting his mid-range game. So after he got that, once I transferred out, I just saw him just blossom into the career he had, being one of the highest scorers at Cal State Fullerton and eventually being a Big West champion. So right now I think he's in Turkey, so I'm keeping up with him. So I'm happy for him in his career and everything's going with him. But for sure he deserves everything that he's earned so far.
Who was the NCAA player you faced there that became an NBA player?
The NBA player that I played against, it was kind of surprising because I would never think he'd be in the NBA. It was actually Trey Murphy. It was during my 3 years at ODU. Trey Murphy was just up and coming at Rice University in Texas. And I remember seeing Trey Murphy. He was just lanky, very skinny, and he was pretty raw in his terms of game. Like, he was just really a three-point specialist and just play defense. So then all of a sudden I heard he ended up transferring to University of Virginia, and that he did really well, that he made it to the NBA. So when me and my buddies talk about it, we talk about guys we played against. And we always bring up Trey Murphy because he wasn't like the go-to guy. He wasn't like getting 30, 35. And like mid-major, you wouldn't think that he was going, but his game just evolved, and you could see that, he fits perfect for the Pelicans. And he's killing it. It was even a slam dunk contest too. So, it's nice to just go back and see kind of the faces you played against, or who's who in the NBA,
How's the feeling drafted in the PBA?
Draft day. That was probably one of the most memorable experiences of my basketball career. It was just kind of a culmination of all the years of working hard, praying, and hoping everything kind of fell into the right place. I've always wanted to play in the PBA, so getting drafted was a dream come true. It's a very anxious moment. You get jitters. It's almost like pregame jitters because you're uncertain if your name's going to get called. So I remember when I was with my brother, like it was over Zoom though. So can you imagine getting drafted over Zoom? So you just kind of wait in your living room, kind of pacing around. And then in between the round breaks, I remember the first round break, I would just walk around. Second round break, I walked around. And then I think the third pick in the third round, I was able to, get drafted. So it was a sense of relief that I'm finally there, but kind of also a sense of like awakening in the sense that like, yeah, this is where the work begins. This is where I have to, prove myself. This is where I have to, make sure I can continue to follow this dream. So it was a nice stepping stone in my career and for sure a milestone. And I hope to be back there one day. But like for now, I just kind of keep my head down and just working hard in the meantime and hoping, praying to God everything falls into place.
How's experience playing in the Magnolia?
Playing for Magnolia, it was an experience I'll never forget. When I first initially got there, I was kind of just thrown into fire, fed to the wolves, because you got to think, I'm a point guard just fresh out of America, coming into the Philippines and dealing with the top defenders in Magnolia with Kuya Mark and Kuya Gio. But after that, it taught me a lot of lessons about my career. First and foremost, just professionalism. That everyone over there takes what they need to do and kind of puts that across their chest. Like for example, like Paul Lee's routine is always coming first in the gym, so he's always there at the crack of dawn. No matter what day, he's always there at 5:30. But other guys, it's different how they operate. Like Mark, if Mark knew that he needed to get his work in, he knew that game day before the game, he's getting work after. So he's working on his pick and rolls, he's working on his pull-up jumpers. So it was nice to see in that terms of professionalism that like, hey, like it doesn't matter how you do it, but making sure you do it. And then the other side I learned that I think I take for granted, and a lot of people do, is usually when you're up there and you're at that level, you kind of just say like, hey, this is my job, this is all I got, this is what I got to do. And it is, for the most part, that's fine, but sometimes you can feel a sense of burnout or feel a sense of a plateauing. And that's where I had a lot of guys around me, which was good. Like when I first got there, it was like Justin Melton, Rome De La Rosa, and then even eventually my second year, James Lopfoot, just reminded me like, hey, it's still a game at the end of the day. And if it's a game, you got to have fun with it. Because if you don't have fun, it's kind of like, what are you doing in the first place? So, when I got there, because, it was always like, hey, I have to do this, instead of enjoying the process, instead of understanding, like, yeah, I got to pay my dues, yeah, I got to learn more, but at the end of the day, it's still, like, something I love to do and something that it brings me enjoyment, brings me fulfillment and amusement. So I just got to keep treat it like that, and that's, like, my advice to other basketball players up and coming. It's like, just because, you start earning money from it, just because, there's a little more gravitation, a little more weight to your wins, to your losses, don't forget to have fun in the process. And that doesn't mean I'm saying, like, you joke around every day, but, it's still finding love, finding happiness while you play. And for the most part, going through the season, you're going to have some lulls, you're going to have some lows. For me, for sure, that's what I experienced at Magnolia, but those kind of guys like Rome, James, Justin were able to, help me understand that, yeah, it's still a job, but you can still have fun with it. So I'm thankful for my experience at Magnolia. The past few years, I got a family over there, and I always hope they're doing well, and I keep track of how they're doing. So yeah, my best wishes to them and everyone playing, and I'm like wishing them the best for the playoffs.
Who is the Magnolia teammate you learn the most?
That's tough. I learned a lot from everybody. But for sure, in terms of my game, definitely Kuya Martin. The way how he was able just to break defenses, how to create havoc on defense, that was a guy I looked up to, especially within my position. So if ever he was available, I would just try to get work with him, pick his brain, and just see how he operates, because there was moments in my career where he kind of pointed like stuff I could have done better, stuff I could have evaluated or made a better decision on. And kind of, it was nice to understand that, like, hey, someone's kind of vouching for me, and also understanding how it is as a player. So just looking to him and then getting some advice from him. So he was really impactful in my career.
Why you choose jersey 0?
0 is funny because when I first started, I was playing elementary school basketball, so I was very young. My dad was the coach at the time, and he kind of grabbed the box of jerseys in the gym, and then we all just kind of like as kids, just going through and seeing what numbers. So all the cool numbers were taken for sure, like 1, 3, 5. And then for some reason, 00 was one of the few ones that were left because I was the younger one because I was played up with my brother. So I got the jersey 00, and that was kind of my signature just growing up. So it was always 00. Because surprisingly, my school had 00, and it's a really old school number. Like the 00 I thought of when I first started playing was Robert Parrish. So people were like, "Who do you want to be? Are you trying to be like someone?" I was like, "I'm not trying to be like Robert Parrish." It was just like the number that I liked. It looked cool. So fast forward to I think around 5th grade, 4th grade. I'm living in the Maryland, Washington D.C. area, and the Wizards are starting to do well, and obviously it's the up-and-coming rise of Gilbert Arenas. So I shift from 00, take off the 0 to 0 because of Gilbert Arenas, because every kid wanted to be like Gilbert. He was the original, the Steph Curry. When he shoots, he looks away. Even he did that on game winners, so he had the whole DC on fire and just electrified for basketball. So when he started playing, I started just sticking with 0. And then I kind of took 0 all the way up to probably till high school, because high school you can't really pick. So then I kind of went through a journey of numbers, and then when I got to PBA, they're like, "Hey, what's your number?" And I saw 0 wasn't taken. So I was like, all right, let me get 0 for my first year. And then there was something inside of me that's like, hey, like, you know, it's kind of be nice if I could go back to 00. So like just kind of like homage to my career, to like everything comes full circle. So I started with 00, like I'm like playing in the PBA, like obviously this is the last stage of my career, you know, just as a player, like I've reached the professional level, so it's nice that I can get to 00. So I went back to 00, and you know, who knows, like hopefully I can keep 00, but for the meantime, I'm just playing around with numbers.
How's experience playing in Asiabasket?
Basket, that was an experience that I enjoyed and found a lot of entertainment in because of the crowd. That was probably the loudest crowd I've heard in a while. Because since I played for Dasmariñas, the home city, there was so much pride and joy for those fans within the city because we were the home team. So the first night they packed it out. It was like a full crowd just to watch basketball. So, you know, being able to represent the beautiful city and Dasmariñas and all the people in it, and a special thanks to the mayor and the coaches for allowing me and other guys to be a part of the team. It was a great experience, and also I got to see a lot of other talented players outside the PBA, because just outside the PBA there's also just as talented players outside. And, you know, it was nice to see a different side of basketball, but just the versatility and the wide range of basketball, how it can play. Like, we were playing college guys who are still up and coming, but we also played seasoned veterans who've been in the PBA or who are doing well in the MPBL. So just playing against those guys, it was nice to see, and it was fun getting after it and being competitive. So, again, like, it was a great experience that I won't forget personally.
If you not became PBA player, what do you think you work right now?
Surprisingly or not, growing up, since I live in the DC area, I always was fond of like lawyers and the Supreme Court. So as a kid, surprisingly or not, I read a lot of biographies. One of them I read was Thurgood Marshall. So I read how he became a lawyer and became Supreme Court. So at a young age, I was kind of like, that would be cool, you know, just to be a part of that system, you know. And I thought about it. And there was a time when COVID happened, and we didn't know if basketball would come back or sports in general would come back. I thought about actually just being a lawyer. So being a lawyer was always one of the plans I had. And who knows, I might go back to it. I'm not closing that chapter yet, but it was one of the things that intrigued me because, like, as a student, as a person, I love to read and write. So, you know, just kind of getting that aspect and putting those skills to work, that's kind of what drawn me to being a lawyer. And, you know, and obviously, like, popular shows like Suits helps the case too. So, yeah, being a lawyer was one of them.
Last question, top 3 shooting guard right now in NBA.
Shooting guards? when you say top 3 shooting guards, I'm going off guys who play shooting guards but also can go point guard, because it's so hard these days just to be strictly shooting guard. But first off the bat is definitely Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. If you're watching what he's doing with the OKC, it's incredible. And who knew trading for him and how many first round picks for Paul George, that Shai was the winner, you know. So it's just seeing OKC and him leading them. And as well, for me as a player of the game, as a student of the game, I watched his game, just noticed how controlled, agile he is. And also, the other day, he was playing the Celtics, the best team in the NBA defensively, and he was tearing apart each and every guy guarding him. So that was just fun to watch, and he just gets to his spots, very efficient with his moves, and also just a great leader because OKC's doing really well. And I have to say, second guy, shooting guard, I think I have to put up there right now for me after watching, I would say Jalen Brunson, even though he's primarily a point guard. So I may change it to like top 3 guards right now. But Jalen Brunson, what he's doing with the Knicks is special, because like him being kind of like a small side guard, that's some childish stuff that I'm trying to take from his game, especially during the post-ups, his fakes, how he gets into the body of defenders. So, but how he's playing and how he's kind of just with or without with Julius Randle is incredible to watch. How talented he is as a scorer, and also on the defensive end, he's not letting guys just blow by him. He's actually getting his stance and, you know, getting in front of guys. So it's been fun watching Jalen Brunson emerge as that guy. And I think third, point guard or shooting guard, or just guard in general, I would have to say is probably. I mean, it's probably going to either be, for me, it's either Luka or I would say even Devin Booker, because just in terms of how they control the game, how they affect the game, it's just great to watch. And then Luka being Luka for sure, just Luka magic every day. And then Devin Booker, he's just one of those guys who's kind of emerged as like the ball handler and also a facilitator, but also, like, let's not forget Devin Booker scored 70 points, you know, rookie year, sophomore year. So just him, like, again, just getting into his spots, being able to shoot, and it's essentially every shot, you know, it's nice to see. So those are some of my favorite players right now to watch. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm really blessed that you gave me the chance to do this. Thank you, bro. God bless. See you.
Thank you for watching.